The Council's doomsday weapons just went offline, and the human says she can turn them back on by thinking about it. High Counselor Zilax's three primary eyes dilated in horror, as the central display confirmed what every sensor in the chamber screamed: zero power signatures across all 12 weapon arrays. The quantum deterrence grid, the technological marvel that had maintained galactic peace for 3,000 years, the system that kept 47 hostile empires from each other's throats, was dead. "Impossible," Weapons Master Kael'thas hissed, his claws scraping against the control console. "The arrays are quantum-locked, reality anchored across 47 dimensions. They cannot simply—" "They did," Counselor Azila interrupted, her voice climbing toward panic. "All 12 arrays, simultaneously. Every backup system is non-responsive." Emma Johnson looked up from her tablet, where she'd been reviewing network traffic logs while sitting cross-legged on the floor near the chamber's data port. According to YouTube analytics, 99.6% of viewers are not subscribed. That's a huge number. By subscribing the channel that is completely free, you'll help support the channel and never miss fresh content. "Oh, is that what those were? I thought they were just really aggressive firewalls." The council chamber fell silent except for the emergency klaxons wailing in the distance. Zilax turned his full attention to the human, the IT contractor they'd hired last week to optimize their sluggish network performance. She wore strange clothing, soft blue leg coverings and a black upper garment with white text reading, "Have you tried turning it off and on again?" Zilax's translator struggled with the concept he was trying to express. "You know something about the weapon arrays?" Emma shrugged. "I mean, I noticed them while I was cleaning up your file architecture. Super redundant security protocols, lots of nested authorization layers. Pretty standard enterprise stuff, just, weaponized." She scrolled through something on her tablet. "Why? Is there a problem?" "A problem?" Vexia, the security chief, slammed her fist on the tactical display. "Without the deterrence grid, the Vexthor Empire will launch their invasion fleet within the hour. The Cathron hegemony will follow within 2. We're looking at the collapse of the Galactic Accord and the end of 3 millennia of peace." "Oh," Emma blinked. "That does sound bad." "Can you restore them?" Zilax demanded. "Can you?" "Incoming transmission," Jotaro, the chief engineer, announced from his station. "It's the Vexthor Empire. They're demanding immediate council surrender. They know the weapons are offline." "How could they possibly—" Azila began. "Their intelligence network is extensive," Kael'thas said grimly. "We have perhaps 90 minutes before their fleet reaches the border. After that—" He didn't need to finish. Emma stood up, brushing dust off her pants. "So wait. You're telling me those files I reorganized were actual weapons? Like planet-destroying weapons?" "Galaxy-destroying," Zilax corrected. "Each array can render an entire star system uninhabitable. Together they form a deterrence net that has prevented galactic war for 3,000 years. Yeah, you mentioned." Emma scratched her head. "Okay, but why would you put weapons control on the same network as your email system? That seems like a security risk." "They are not on the same network." Jotaro's scales flushed purple with indignation. "The deterrence grid operates on a completely isolated quantum neural matrix with physical separation protocols that— Dude, I literally saw the traffic routes last Tuesday." Emma turned her tablet around, showing a cascading diagram that made Jotaro's eyes cross. "See? Your quantum whatever matrix had a bridge protocol connecting to your administrative network. I collapsed it because it was causing latency issues." The engineering station exploded in sparks. Jotaro leaped back, his fur smoking slightly. "That should not be possible," he whispered. "The quantum neural matrix cannot be visualized on conventional devices. It exists across dimensional boundaries that— It's right here, though." Emma zoomed in on her screen. "I mean, it was kind of a mess, organizationally speaking. Whoever set up your security used 12 different authorization checks in series. Super inefficient." Zilax felt his breathing membranes constrict. Those 12 authorization checks require simultaneous DNA verification from all council members, quantum state confirmation, neural pattern matching, and temporal lock verification. The system was designed by the most brilliant minds of our age to be absolutely impenetrable. Emma made a face. Yeah, but why? That's like needing 12 different keys to open your front door, and you put them all on the same keyring anyway, so what's the point? The point, Kael'thas said through clenched teeth, is security. But it's not secure if it's annoying, Emma countered. People always find workarounds for annoying security. It's like basic IT psychology. We are not people, Vexia snapped. We are the Galactic Council, the unified government of 400 civilized species, and our security is offline, Emma finished. Your security is offline. That's kind of my point. Zilax closed his eyes, trying to center himself. When he opened them, he spoke with forced calm. Can you restore the weapons? Probably, Emma said. I mean, I didn't delete anything, just reorganized and optimized. The data's all still there. Then do it. Please, we are running out of time. Emma looked at her tablet, then at the massive control console where Kael'thas and his team were frantically running diagnostics. Do I need to plug in somewhere or? The weapons are quantum locked, Kael'thas roared. You cannot simply plug in. We need full council authorization, emergency override protocols, dimensional anchor reestablishment. Okay, but you said I broke them by reorganizing files, Emma interrupted. So logically, I should be able to unbreak them the same way, right? That's not how quantum reality anchored weapons systems work. Apparently it is, Azila said quietly, pointing at her scanner, because according to this, the weapons responded to the human's network changes despite being physically impossible to access that way. The council stared at Emma with new eyes that held growing fear. What exactly did you do? Zilax asked slowly. Emma scrolled through her notes. Okay, so your authorization system was checking like 40 different parameters every time someone tried to access anything. Super slow, so I streamlined it. Instead of checking who has access based on all those complicated quantum DNA whatever things, I just made it check whether the person trying to access it actually has authorization intent. Silence. Authorization intent? Jotaro repeated weakly. Yeah, like, do they actually mean to access it for legitimate reasons, or are they trying to hack it? Emma looked around at the blank stares. It's simpler, faster. The system just knows if you're supposed to be there. Systems do not know things, Kael'thas said. They follow programmed parameters. Well, yours does now. Emma shrugged. I mean, I can change it back if you want, but it'll be super slow again. Fleet update, Vexia announced, her voice tight. Vex-Thor Vanguard entering disputed territory. We have 70 minutes until they reach the border. We need those weapons online. Zilax made a decision. Human Emma Johnson, we formally request your assistance in restoring the deterrence grid. Sure, Emma said, but I'm gonna need you all to not panic, okay? Because I'm pretty sure I can do this, but if everyone's freaking out, it's gonna be distracting. We will remain calm, Zilax promised, though his primary heart was hammering audibly. Emma set down her tablet. She looked up at the ceiling, where the council's sensors showed the dormant weapon arrays, massive crystalline structures integrated into the station's superstructure. Okay, she said. Here goes. She closed her eyes briefly, then opened them and simply looked at the arrays. Every light in the council chamber died. Emergency lighting kicked in, bathing everything in crimson. The backup systems wailed new alarms. Azila made a sound somewhere between a gasp and a shriek. What did you do? Vexia demanded. Turn them off all the way, Emma said, still looking up. Figured I should start from zero. Is that bad? Those arrays are not connected to the chamber's power grid. Jotaro's voice had gone very high. They have independent quantum phase generators. They cannot be affected by... The lights came back on. Not the emergency lighting, the full chamber illumination, plus every holographic display, and several systems that hadn't worked in years. The weapon arrays were online, every single one. Kael'thas stared at his console, where impossible readings scrolled past. Full power, all arrays responsive. Authorization protocols, accepting. He looked up at Emma with something approaching terror. Accepting authorization from the human. Wait, what? Emma turned from the ceiling. I didn't authorize anything. I just turned them back on. You're not in the authorization matrix, Zilak said. Your genetic pattern is not registered. Your neural signature is not encoded. You should not be able to even perceive the arrays, let alone… I mean, they're right there. Emma pointed up. Big crystal things in the ceiling, pretty hard to miss. They exist across 47 dimensions, Jotaro protested. You should only be able to see a 3-dimensional shadow of their true form. I can see, like, a lot of versions of them, Emma offered. Kind of overlapping. It's pretty cool, actually. Reminds me of those old 3D pictures where you have to unfocus your eyes. Azila pulled up a scanner and pointed it at Emma. The device immediately began displaying readings that made no sense, quantum fluctuations that suggested the human was simultaneously in multiple states, probability matrices that indicated she both did and did not exist in measurable space. The scanner caught fire. Okay, we need to call this in, Azila said, dropping the melting device. This is beyond council authority. We need the Grand Assembly. We have 65 minutes, Vexia reminded them. The Grand Assembly convenes in 3 days at the earliest. Then we proceed, Zilax decided. He turned to Emma. Can you demonstrate your control? We need to prove the weapons are operational before the Vexthor fleet arrives. Sure? Emma looked uncertain. What do you want me to do? Cycle through weapons modes, Kael'thas suggested, pulling up a tactical display. If they respond to standard protocols… Emma glanced at the ceiling again. The weapon arrays shifted. Crystalline structures reconfigured themselves in ways the Council's finest engineers had spent centuries perfecting. Planetary siege mode, fleet interdiction mode, dimensional anchor mode, quantum disruption mode. Each configuration flowed seamlessly into the next. Okay, that's showing off, Emma admitted with a slight grin. Sorry, but yeah, they work fine. Jotaro was hyperventilating into a breathing apparatus. 83 mode changes in 12 seconds. Our fastest operators need 4 minutes per change. The quantum lock protocols alone require… Is there a problem? Emma asked, concerned. Did I break something else? You broke physics, Jotaro wheezed. Okay, that's dramatic, Emma said. I just think about what I want them to do and they do it. It's not that complicated. How are you thinking at quantum arrays? Azila demanded. Your neural structure cannot possibly interface with quantum state systems. You lack the biological hardware. Emma frowned. I mean, I'm looking at them and thinking about what they should do, same way I'd think about anything. Fleet update, Vexia said, though her eyes never left Emma. 60 minutes to border. The Vexthor are accelerating. Zilax felt the weight of 3,000 years of peace resting on his next decision. Human Emma Johnson, can you target the Vexthor fleet? With your weapons? Emma looked alarmed. Dude, I'm an IT contractor, not a soldier. I'm not going to blow up a bunch of ships. Not destroy them, Zilax clarified quickly. Just demonstrate capability, lock targeting protocols, show them we are not defenseless. Emma bit her lip, thinking, what if I just turned their weapons off too? The council chamber went very, very quiet. Explain, Zilax said carefully. Well, if I can control your weapons by sort of asking them nicely, maybe I can do the same to theirs? Emma pulled up something on her tablet. I've been looking at your network architecture. You're all using pretty similar quantum whatever tech, right? Same basic principles? The Vexthor use completely different technology, Kael'thas said. Their weapons are biologically integrated with their ships, controlled through neural hive interfaces. There is no commonality with our systems. But they're still weapons that someone turns on and off, right? Emma said. They still have the concept of authorized user versus unauthorized user? In theory, but cool, give me a second. Emma closed her eyes. 50 light-years away, at the edge of the Vexthor Empire, 300 warships suddenly went dark. Weapons systems failed, engines sputtered, life support flickered. In the council chamber, every display lit up with incoming transmissions, panicked signals from the Vexthor fleet, confused reports from border monitoring stations, automated alerts from early warning systems. Vexia stared at her tactical display in disbelief. The entire fleet they're dead in space, weapons offline, propulsion offline, they're sending distress signals. Oh shit, Emma said, eyes flying open. I didn't mean to shut down their life support. Hang on. She closed her eyes again. On the displays, the Vexthor ships flickered back to minimal power. Life support restored, but weapons remained offline. I left them enough power to breathe and go home, Emma explained. But yeah, no weapons, seemed safer. Zilak sat down heavily in his chair. Around the chamber, council members were doing the same, their various species expressions unified in shock. You just disabled an entire invasion fleet, Azila whispered, from 50 light-years away, through systems you've never accessed, using technology you don't understand. I guess. Emma looked uncomfortable with the attention. I just asked their weapons to turn off. And they did. Is that bad? How? Jotaro demanded, his voice cracking. How did you ask them? There is no communication channel, no quantum link, no dimensional bridge. You should not be able to perceive their systems, let alone affect them. Emma shrugged helplessly. I don't know. I think about what I want to happen, and if it makes sense, it happens. Like, it seemed reasonable that if they're weapons, they should respond to being asked to turn off. Weapons do not respond to being asked, Kael'thas said. They respond to programmed commands from authorized users following strict protocols. Okay, but yours responded to me, and I'm definitely not an authorized user, Emma pointed out. So maybe weapons are just more flexible than you thought? Vexia pulled up new data. The Vexthor fleet is retreating. They're calling it a tactical withdrawal, but... She looked at Emma. They're terrified. Their fleet commanders are reporting that an unknown quantum entity disabled their ships. That's me, I guess, Emma said. Sorry, should I send them a message or something? Explain it was just me? No, Zilak said quickly. Let them believe what they will, for now. He stood, gathering his composure. Human Emma Johnson, do you understand what you have done? Fixed your network and prevented a war, Emma ventured. You have demonstrated abilities that should not exist, Zilak said. You have interfaced with quantum-locked systems using nothing but conscious intent. You have affected technologies across interstellar distances. You have casually accomplished what our greatest scientists deemed impossible. When you put it that way, it sounds impressive, Emma admitted. But really, I just think about stuff and it happens. It's not like I'm doing math or anything. That is precisely the problem, Azila said quietly. You're not doing anything we can measure, replicate, or understand. You simply will things to occur. And they do. Jotaro brought up new scans, his hands shaking. I've been analyzing the human's interaction with our systems. She doesn't hack them. She doesn't bypass security. She doesn't even interface with them in any conventional sense. It's as if... He struggled to find words. It's as if she asks reality itself to change, and reality complies. That is absolutely insane, Emma said. Reality doesn't just change because you ask it to. For you, apparently, it does, Vexia said. Zilax made a decision. We need to understand this. Human Emma Johnson, can you explain your process? How do you perceive these systems? What are you actually doing? Emma thought about it. Okay, so like, when I look at your weapons, I see them, all of them, every version across every dimension or whatever, and I can see what they're supposed to do. Like, their purpose is written into their structure. They're meant to protect, right? That's their core function. Yes, Kael'thas confirmed warily. So when I want them to turn on, I just remind them of that purpose? I think about protection, and they respond to that. Same with turning them off. I think about safety, and they understand that means powering down. You are describing consciousness, Jotaro said. You are claiming our weapons systems are conscious. I mean, kind of, Emma said. Not like sentient or anything, but they know what they're for. Your whole security system was trying to check identity when it should have been checking intent. That's why it was so complicated. You were asking the wrong question. We were asking, who has authorization? Zilak said slowly. Right, but the better question is, what does this person intend to do? Because someone with full authorization could still use the weapons wrong, and someone without authorization might need them for legitimate protection. Emma pulled up her tablet again. So I changed your security to check intent instead of identity. You changed 3,000-year-old security protocols, Kael'thas said, to run on intent. Yeah, it's more efficient. And honestly, it's what you were trying to do anyway with all those identity checks. You just did it the complicated way, Azila laughed, a slightly hysterical sound. She optimized our quantum reality-anchored weapon system like it was a software update. I mean, that's basically what it was, Emma said. More alerts appeared on the displays. Vexia read them quickly. The Cathran hegemony is calling for emergency peace talks. The Zoral Collective is requesting diplomatic channels be opened. Everyone who was planning to capitalize on our vulnerability is backing down. They know, Zilak said. Somehow, they all know what happened to the Vexthor fleet. Galactic intelligence networks are fast, Vexia confirmed. By now, every major power knows that something disabled an entire invasion fleet without firing a shot. Emma's phone buzzed. She glanced at it. Oh, crap! I have another appointment in 20 minutes. Are we done here? The council stared at her. Are we done? Azila repeated incredulously. You just prevented a galactic war and demonstrated reality-altering abilities, and you're worried about another appointment? I mean, yeah, Mr. Harrison's accounting firm has been having server issues for like a week. I promised I'd stop by today. Emma started packing up her tablet. Your network's running smooth now, though. Should be good for a while. Zilax felt something break in his mind, some fundamental assumption about the universe. Human Emma Johnson, we would like to offer you a position, head of galactic security, full council authority, command over all defensive systems. Emma laughed. Dude, I make $45 an hour doing IT work. You want me to manage galaxy-wide defense? That sounds like so much paperwork. We would compensate you appropriately. Do I have to attend meetings? Zilax hesitated. Yes, many meetings, policy discussions, strategic planning sessions. Hard pass, Emma said cheerfully. But I'll consult if you want, like if your systems break again, call me. I'll fix them, but I'm not doing the management thing. You could name your price, Vexia offered. Already have a price. 45 an hour plus mileage if I have to drive. Emma grinned. Though I guess this was technically remote work since I was just thinking at your weapons. Do I charge mileage for that? Kael'thas made a sound somewhere between a laugh and a sob. We need to document this, Jotaro said, pulling himself together. Create new protocols. Train our security teams on human-compatible interfaces. This changes everything about how we approach defense. Sure, but I can't really teach you how I do it, Emma said. I just think about stuff. I don't know if that's a human thing or a me thing. We need to find out, Azila said. How many other humans are there? Like 8 billion, Emma said, give or take. The council exchanged looks of dawning horror. 8 billion beings potentially capable of altering quantum reality through conscious intent, Zilax said quietly. That is... Terrifying, Vexia finished. Hey, most of us are pretty chill, Emma protested. We're not going to go around turning off people's weapons for fun. We've got jobs and stuff. You turned off the Vexthor fleet's weapons, Kael'thas pointed out. Yeah, because they were invading. That's different. That's self-defense. Well, defense of you guys. Whatever. Emma checked her phone again. Look, I really do need to go, but seriously, if you have more network issues, just call. I'll fix them remotely. How do we call you remotely? Jotaro asked. Our quantum communication systems. Emma wrote something on a piece of paper and handed it to him. That's my email. Just send me a message. I check it pretty regularly. Email, Jotaro repeated faintly. You want us to contact you about galaxy-threatening emergencies via email. Or text. I also do text. Emma slung her bag over her shoulder. Oh, and hey, your coffee machine in the break room? I fixed that too. Someone had set the temperature wrong. It should actually taste like coffee now instead of burnt socks. She headed for the door. Wait, Zilax called. The door requires biometric authorization. You cannot... The door slid open smoothly. Emma waved over her shoulder. Thanks for the gig. Network's running at like 300% efficiency now. You're welcome. The door closed behind her. The council sat in silence for a long moment. Finally, Azila spoke. Did she just optimize our coffee machine? Note to all departments, Zilax said tiredly, pulling up his command interface. If a human offers to help with anything, let them. Then document everything, every detail, every change, every impossible thing they do casually. We need new protocols, Vexia said, new security procedures, new everything, Kael'thas interrupted. She is right about our security. We were asking the wrong questions. All of our technology, all of our advancement, we built it on complicated solutions to simple problems. And humans? Jotaro said quietly. Humans apparently just ask nicely and reality cooperates, Azila finished. Zilax pulled up, the fleet reports, the diplomatic channels, the intelligence briefings. Across the galaxy, things were changing. Powers that had been ready for war were backing down. Systems that had been unstable were stabilizing. And somewhere in the quantum foam underlaying reality itself, security protocols were running smoother than they had in millennia, all because an IT contractor thought they were inefficient. Contact the Grand Assembly, Zilax ordered. Full emergency session, topic, humanity. We need to understand what we're dealing with. And in the meantime, Vexia asked. In the meantime, we hope that the other 8 billion humans are as... He searched for the word. As helpful as Emma Johnson, his communicator chirped, a message from an unknown sender. Found some weird nested loops in your environmental controls while I was poking around. Fixed those too. Air should be fresher now. Emma Zilax took a deep breath. The air did taste better. Reality help us all, he muttered. In the background, the coffee machine beeped cheerfully, producing its first perfect cup in 40 years.